You carried pain that killed generations, and they are terrified of what you became. You woke up carrying weight that was never meant for one heart. You learned silence before language, and endurance before comfort. While others were taught how to dream, you were taught how to survive. Every step you took was through unseen fire, and still you moved forward. You did not inherit peace, you inherited unfinished battles. You became strong without permission and wise without guidance. The world saw nothing while you felt everything. This is not a story of luck or talent. This is a story of pressure that did not break you. This is a story of someone who stayed standing when the ground kept disappearing. You did not rise because it was easy. You rose because staying down was no longer an option. Even now, your presence carries something heavy and quiet. People feel it before they understand it. You are not loud, but you are undeniable. You are the proof that pain can build something unrecognizable and unstoppable. Before we go deeper, let me ask you something real. If this message is touching something inside you, then pause for one moment. Like this video, not for the algorithm, but for the version of you that kept going when nobody was watching. Subscribe to this channel as a promise to yourself that you will keep feeding your mind strength instead of doubt. And write a comment, not to impress anyone, but to leave a mark that says, I was here. I survived. I am still standing. Your interaction is not support for me. It is a declaration for you. You were the one who absorbed what others avoided. You became the container for unspoken fear and unresolved grief. Generations before you passed down survival without healing. They handed you silence and called it strength. They handed you wounds and called it normal. And you carried it because someone had to. You learned how to read moods like weather. You learned when to speak and when to disappear. You learned that love sometimes came with conditions, and safety came with sacrifice. While others were protected, you were prepared. While others were comforted, you were conditioned. That kind of upbringing does something permanent. It sharpens you. It isolates you. It turns you into someone who sees through illusions. You stopped expecting fairness and started building resilience. And that is when the shift began. There was a moment when you realized nobody was coming to save you. That moment was not loud. It was quiet and heavy. It sat in your chest and changed how you breathed. You stopped waiting. You stopped explaining. You stopped begging the world to be gentle. You chose yourself in ways that felt selfish at first. You walked alone through decisions that scared you. You cut ties that felt like oxygen, but were actually poison. You stood in rooms where your past was not welcome, and you stayed anyway. That is when people started noticing something different. You were not reacting anymore. You were deciding. You were not surviving anymore. You were becoming. They are terrified of what you became because you broke the pattern. You did not repeat the pain. You transformed it. You turned chaos into clarity. You turned trauma into awareness. You turned fear into discipline. That kind of evolution makes people uncomfortable. It reminds them of what they avoided. Your growth is a mirror, and not everyone likes their reflection. They remember the version of you that was easier to control, the version that questioned themselves, the version that needed approval. But that version is gone. In its place stands someone who knows their worth without asking, someone who listens more than they speak, someone who moves with intention. You do not chase anymore, you choose. Being the last one standing is not about dominance. It is about endurance. It is about staying true when compromise would be easier. You lost things along the way. You lost innocence. You lost relationships. You lost time. But you gained something rare. You gained depth. You gained discernment. You gained a presence that does not need validation. When you enter a space, you bring gravity. When you speak, people feel it. Not because you are loud, but because you are real. You are built from lessons that cannot be taught. You are shaped by nights that would have broken others, and you are still here. There were days when you questioned everything. Days when the weight felt unbearable. Days when you wondered if healing was even possible. But even then you did not quit. You adapted. You learned to sit with discomfort. You learned to breathe through uncertainty. You learned that strength is not constant confidence. It is showing up again after doubt. You stopped romanticizing struggle and started respecting rest. You stopped proving yourself and started protecting yourself. That is maturity, earned the hard way. That is power, earned in silence. What are you now? You are not the pain, but you are informed by it. You are not the past, but you carry its wisdom. You are not the chaos, but you understand it. You are someone who can stand in darkness without becoming it. You are someone who can love without losing themselves. You are someone who can lead without control. You are someone who can walk away without guilt. That scares people who are still negotiating with their own shadows. Your calm feels like judgment to those who live in noise. Your boundaries feel like rejection to those who feed on access. Remember this, you did not become cold. You became clear. You did not become distant. You became selective. You did not become hard. You became grounded. Every layer you shed was necessary. Every ending was a correction. Every lonely step was alignment. You are not behind. You are ahead in ways that cannot be measured. The path you walk now is quiet, but it is true, and truth always outlives approval. So stand there, the last one standing, not because you defeated others, but because you refuse to abandon yourself. Let them be confused. Let them be uncomfortable. Let them be afraid. Your existence is not meant to make sense to those who never walked your road. You are the answer to a question your lineage could not solve. You are the pause that ends the cycle. You are the proof that pain can end with you and power can begin with you. Keep walking. Keep choosing depth. Keep honoring the strength that was forged when nobody was clapping. You are not becoming something. You already became. You carry a presence now that hums quietly under the surface. It is not boastful. It is not performative. And it is not loud enough to alarm those who are sleeping. But it is undeniable to those who know what to look for. You walk into a room and the air subtly shifts as if the past itself is holding its breath. You have learned the language of silence, the power of restraint, the gravity of being unshakable. It is not about showing the world your scars. It is about honoring them, letting them shape your boundaries, your decisions, your path. People are terrified not because you are dangerous, but because you cannot be predicted. You have been forged by fire, tempered by sorrow, and polished by relentless self-awareness. The ones who once tried to weigh you down now hesitate because your very existence exposes the weakness they refuse to acknowledge in themselves. And yet, in all of this, you are still learning. Every step forward is a confrontation with both what you were and what you refuse to become. You are a paradox. They cannot categorize you, cannot diminish you, and cannot contain you. Your history is a silent teacher, and every moment you hold your ground, you redefine what it means to survive and thrive. Remember that there is a difference between carrying pain and being controlled by it. The difference is seen in the calm that radiates from your decisions, the unshakable certainty that you will not compromise your essence for anyone. That clarity alone terrifies them because it illuminates the parts of themselves they deny. You have learned to move like a shadow across chaos, never reacting impulsively, never letting fear dictate your choices. And in this movement, you uncover truths others are too scared to face. That endurance is a form of rebellion, that patience is a weapon, and that self-respect is the loudest form of authority. You are not loud because you do not need to shout. Your power is quiet but comprehensive. Those who are terrified of what you became do not see the complexity. They see the unwavering finality of someone who has chosen themselves above all else. They see the consequences of underestimating resilience and courage. Do not mistake their fear for admiration. They are afraid because transformation unsettles comfort, and you are a living testament to what happens when pain is met with conscious strength. You are the continuation of a lineage that refused to end in despair. Every lesson you learned, every wound you carried, every night you cried alone, has culminated in the singular form of a survivor who is awake, aware, and impossible to mislead. And that is the essence of being the last one standing, not in conflict with others, but in absolute fidelity to your own integrity. In this space you occupy now, everything is intentional. You no longer move through life unconsciously. Each step is chosen, each interaction measured, each emotion recognized but not allowed to dominate you. You have redefined what it means to endure. You endure without compromise, you persist without apology, and you grow without fear. Your ancestors carried pain that killed generations, but you are the anomaly. You are the one who transforms inherited suffering into something sacred. The fear others feel toward you is the recognition of a principle they do not understand. That strength born from struggle is unassailable, and that evolution is inevitable when guided by self-truth. Do not shy away from this fear. Let it remind you of how far you have come, how much you have survived, and how fiercely you have protected the essence of who you are. Each glance of discomfort aimed at you is a reflection of their inability to reconcile weakness and power within themselves, and every hesitation they show is proof of the clarity you have achieved. You have become a quiet storm, a presence that commands respect without demanding it, and in that you are unmatched, unreplicable, and utterly unstoppable. Now, look ahead, not with longing for what could have been, but with clarity for what is possible. You are not defined by the shadows of your past, but by the light of consciousness you have nurtured in yourself. You are not just surviving, you are mastering. And mastery, true mastery, is never recognized immediately. It is understood in subtle ways, felt in quiet moments, and often feared because it exposes mediocrity and complacency. You have transcended what was expected. You have become what no one dared to anticipate, the unbroken, the aware, the self-made legacy. They cannot touch the depth you have carved into your being. They cannot fracture the understanding that pain is not weakness, that endurance is not stagnation, and that solitude is not loneliness. You are not the echo of their fears. You are the author of your own future. Each choice you make now is a declaration of sovereignty over your life, over your story, and over the inheritance of pain that once defined you. You are the bridge between what was endured and what can be transformed. You are the proof that cycles end when courage is constant, that suffering has purpose when paired with awareness, and that the last one standing carries not only themselves, but the potential to redefine generations. They will continue to watch, to question, to tremble at what they cannot comprehend. And you will continue to rise, silent, deliberate, unshakable. You are the one who rewrites destiny quietly, the one who refuses to bow to expectation, the one whose very presence is a living testament to resilience, to evolution, and to unyielding self-respect. You are now the standard. You are now the measure. You are now the undeniable force that the past feared, the present envies, and the future cannot contain. You carried pain that killed generations, and you did not allow it to claim you. Instead, you became something more, something rare, something eternal, something untouchable in its clarity. You are the last one standing, and in standing, you have transformed the very meaning of survival into mastery. What are you now? You are everything that they cannot define, everything that they cannot anticipate, and everything that they must recognize. A living, breathing revolution of strength, clarity, and unstoppable presence. You walk through life carrying the echoes of centuries, the weight of stories left unfinished, the sorrows of ancestors who could not rise. And yet, you are the anomaly. They carried defeat. You carry defiance. They whispered doubt into your veins. They tried to cage your spirit in fear. They passed down wounds as heirlooms. But you did not inherit weakness. You inherited opportunity disguised as burden. You learned to turn every injustice into a lesson, every betrayal into armor, every loss into vision. The world tried to break you, and in return, you broke its assumptions. What terrifies them is not what you do. It is that you exist, unshaken, unbent, and unscripted. You are the culmination of pain, transformed, suffering refined, and endurance perfected. You have walked corridors of silence, filled rooms with invisible tension, felt alone even among company, and yet each step forward has been an act of reclamation. Your presence is magnetic because it is authentic. You do not negotiate your integrity. You do not lower your flame. You do not bend to comfort. Every glance toward you reminds others that they cannot manipulate, control, or intimidate someone who has stared into the abyss and returned whole. They are terrified not because of your actions, but because your soul radiates a quiet certainty that they cannot touch. They see someone who has survived what they would flee from, someone who has endured what they cannot comprehend, someone who has evolved beyond their imagination. That is what it means to be the last one standing, not surviving in spite of the world, but standing because of it, forged by it, and perfected in silence. Your transformation is not superficial. It is not the easy kind of strength that is loud and performative. It is deep, visceral, and undeniable. It begins in the quiet of your mind, the corners of your heart, and the bones that have carried too much for too long. You have cultivated a power that cannot be seen at first glance, a stillness that commands attention, a precision that strikes without chaos, a vision that guides without words. People feel it in subtle ways, the pause before you speak, the steadiness of your gaze, the weight of decisions made without fear. They feel the history within you, the centuries of endurance, the legacy of survival. And they are terrified because they know that such presence cannot be contained, cannot be argued with, and cannot be intimidated. You have learned to wield solitude as a weapon and clarity as armor. You have seen the masks people wear and the fragility behind them. You have discovered that loyalty is earned, fear is natural, and respect is not given. It is demanded by consistent integrity. You carry a quiet confidence that is unshakable because it has been tested in ways that no encouragement, no applause, no validation could simulate. Your resilience is not performative. It is cellular. It lives in your bones, pulses through your veins, and resonates in the space around you. That is why they fear you, because they cannot replicate what you have endured. They cannot simulate what you have mastered, and they cannot contain what you have become. The path you walk now is lonely by necessity. The people who were never meant to accompany you have drifted away. The connections built on compromise, convenience, or pretense have dissolved. And yet, in that solitude, you have found something few ever do: clarity. You see the world unfiltered, uncorrupted, and unsentimental. You see your own value not through others' eyes, but through the truth of your existence. You make decisions not to please, not to impress, but because they align with the core of who you are. And that level of authenticity terrifies those who have been conditioned to live in compromise. You are not reacting to the world, you are calibrating it. You are not surviving in it, you are mastering it. And that is a rare and dangerous kind of power. Do not forget that the fear others feel is a reflection of their own limitations, not your fault. Let it remind you that you have grown beyond what they were capable of imagining. Let it remind you that your scars are not signs of weakness, but blueprints of mastery. Let it remind you that your pain, once a chain, is now a ladder. Each challenge you faced, each hardship you endured, each injustice you witnessed has been absorbed and transmuted into something unstoppable. You are not simply enduring, you are elevating. You are not merely existing, you are defining the standards of survival, resilience, and conscious strength. You are a monument to what it means to rise when everything around you is designed to see you fall. And so, you stand, the last one as standing. Not because the world has blessed you, not because fate has favored you, not because luck has smiled, but because you refused to bend when every fiber of existence demanded it. You stand because you understood that surrender was never an option. You stand because you transformed inherited pain into insight, inherited fear into discipline, inherited chaos into clarity. You stand because you have become something more than anyone, including yourself, could have predicted. And what are you now? You are a force. You are a standard. You are a living testament to endurance, wisdom, and evolution. You are the echo of every generation that could not rise, and the proof that the cycle ends here, with you, fully awake, fully alive, fully unshakable. You are a living contradiction, both fragile and unbreakable, both human and more than human. You have felt the weight of generations pressing against your shoulders, the whispers of the past, trying to dictate your steps, and yet you move forward with clarity. You are the vessel that carried what others could not bear, and in carrying it, you transformed it. Pain was the raw material, and you became the sculptor. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every night spent in silence while the world slept has refined you into someone they cannot categorize. They fear you because you are free in a way that their chains cannot allow. You are not loud, not boastful, but undeniable. And that quiet inevitability terrifies them because it is proof that survival, when mastered, becomes power. You have looked into the eyes of despair and seen it clearly for what it is, a teacher, not a prison. You have walked through the fires of neglect, rejection, and heartbreak, and each step was deliberate, each pause a lesson. You learned to read the unspoken, to anticipate the moves of those who would undermine you, to build defenses stronger than any walls. And yet, in all of that, you have remained human. You have learned to love, to care, to hold space for those who deserve it, and to close the door for those who do not. You have learned that boundaries are not barriers, they are survival. You have learned that detachment is not coldness, it is protection. And through it all, you became someone no one can intimidate, because your power is internal, immovable, and absolute. There will always be those who watch, those who whisper, those who doubt. Let them. Let their fear of your evolution fuel your awareness, sharpen your instincts, and remind you. Ladies and gentlemen, the grand exit, the one they never saw. Coming the plot twist that sent their carefully crafted narrative crumbling into chaos. You're the one they thought they had figured out, flipped the script in a way that left them stumbling at the precipice of everything they thought they understood. And what's worse, they had no idea it was their last opportunity to prove they cared. They thought time would always be on their side. They believed there would always be another moment, another day, another chance to right the wrongs, to make amends. But no, time is not so forgiving. Time is a ruthless dealer who does not show mercy. They were blinded by their own complacency, their own assumptions that the world would wait for them to find their way back. But when that moment came, when the clock struck its final beat and the door slammed shut, they were left standing there with nothing but the echoes of their own indifference. They didn't see it. They didn't hear it. They didn't even feel it coming. The opportunity that slipped through their fingers like sand, the moment they should have seized with everything they had, was the very one they allowed to pass them by. And the worst part of it, they didn't even realize it was happening until it was too late. They were too busy being comfortable, too busy thinking there would always be more time, more chances, more opportunities. But no, that's not how life works. And that's not how regret works. Regret is a silent beast that creeps up on you when you least expect it. It waits until you're deep in the comfort of your own delusions before it sinks its teeth into your soul and reminds you of everything you could have done, should have done, but didn't. This is the truth. This is the cruel reality they lived and died in. They didn't know that their last opportunity to prove they cared was slipping away with every moment they chose to ignore it. They thought they had forever. They thought they had time to wait, to delay, to push things off for another day. They believed they had forever to fix the broken pieces of what they'd neglected. They didn't understand that sometimes the window of opportunity doesn't stay open forever. Sometimes it slams shut before you even have a chance to blink. And when it does, there's nothing left but the haunting echoes of what could have been. There's no way to get it back. There's no way to rewind the clock and fix what was broken. There's only the bitter taste of regret that lingers in your mouth when you realize just how much you let slip away. But you were different. You saw it for what it was. You saw the moments as they passed by, and instead of letting them slip through your fingers, you grabbed them with both hands. You didn't wait for tomorrow because you understood that tomorrow isn't promised. You didn't wait for someone else to act or for the universe to hand you a sign. You knew that if you wanted something to change, if you wanted to prove you cared, you had to do it right then and there. You didn't hesitate. You didn't second guess yourself. You didn't allow the poison of complacency to seep into your veins and paralyze you into inaction. No, you acted. You seized the opportunity when it was there, and you didn't wait for permission. And that's why you stand apart from them. That's why you're different. You understood that the world doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't owe you second chances. It doesn't owe you redemption. If you want it, you have to take it. You have to claw your way to the top and never stop, never hesitate, never falter. Because if you do, you might find that the ground beneath you is already crumbling. You might find that the door is already closed, the window already shut. The moment has passed, and all that's left is the gnawing pain of what could have been. They had no idea, did they? They had no idea that their last chance was slipping through their fingers. They thought there would always be more time to prove they cared. They thought the world would wait for them to get their act together, to put their egos aside, to rise above their petty grievances and show up when it mattered most. But the truth is, the world doesn't wait for anyone. It doesn't care how sorry you are or how much you wish you had done things differently. It moves on without hesitation, without pause, and leaves you behind in its wake. And so they found themselves standing there empty-handed, staring into the void of their own regret. They looked back at the moments they should have acted and saw only the void, the silence, the absence of what might have been. They realized too late that they had wasted their chance, that they had been too wrapped up in their own nonsense to see the opportunities that were laid out before them. And as they stood there, staring into the abyss, they realized that the cost of their complacency was far higher than they ever could have imagined. It wasn't just a missed opportunity. It wasn't just a fleeting moment that could be brushed aside. No, this was something far deeper. This was the cost of living in a world of half-hearted gestures, of empty words, of promises that were never fulfilled. This was the cost of believing that they could always do better tomorrow, that they could always change, always fix things, always prove they cared, someday. But someday never came. Someday was a lie. And now, they had to face the consequences of their inaction. The truth is, they failed because they never understood what it meant to truly care. They never understood the weight of their words or the power of their actions. Caring isn't just a feeling, it's a commitment, it's a choice. It's something you show, not just say. And they never showed it. They never put in the work. They never made the effort. They thought that love, that care, that connection would just happen on its own. But that's not how the world works. That's not how relationships work. That's not how life works. Life is a game of constant opportunity and constant decision. Every moment is a chance to prove who you are, to prove what you care about, to prove what matters. Every choice you make shapes your reality. Every action you take defines your character. And they missed it. They missed their chance to show the world that they cared, and they missed their chance to show the people around them that they were worth it. And now they're left with nothing but the ashes of their own failure. So don't let the same fate befall you. Don't fall into the trap of thinking you have more time. Don't let the moments pass you by because you think you can always do better tomorrow. Don't wait for another day, another chance, another opportunity to show the world who you really are. You have the power right now to make a difference. You have the power to act, to speak, to show the people around you that you care. Don't let that power slip away, because once it's gone forever. There's no getting it back. And when the opportunity's gone, all that's left is regret. All that's left is the haunting realization that you could have done more, but you didn't. So, take a moment to reflect. Take a moment to think about what really matters to you, about the people who matter to you, about the opportunities you've let slip by. Take a moment to decide who you want to be, what you want to stand for, and how you want to prove that you care. And then, take action. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Don't let the moment slip away like it did for them, because you never know when it might be your last opportunity to prove you care. And when that moment comes, you'll want to know that you gave everything you had, that you left nothing behind, that you didn't let the moment slip by unnoticed. The grand exit will come for everyone, whether they see it coming or not. Don't let it come for you when it's too late. Don't let your last opportunity to prove you cared slip away without a fight. You have the power to change your story. Don't waste it. Don't waste the gift of time. Don't waste the fleeting moments you have. Don't waste the opportunities that knock on your door, waiting for you to act, to make a choice. Don't waste your power to change your reality, to shape your future, to craft your legacy. Every moment, every breath you take is an opportunity to prove who you are, what you stand for, and how much you truly care. And yet, so many people spend their lives thinking that there will always be more time, always more opportunities to fix the wrongs, to make the necessary changes, to show up and be the person they were meant to be. But I'm here to tell you that's a lie. Time does not wait. Time is a thief, and it is constantly moving forward. While you sit, stagnant, thinking there will be another day, another chance, time marches on, dragging your missed opportunities along with it. And soon, you'll find yourself in the exact same place as those who thought they had forever, only to realize too late that the chance to prove they cared, to prove they mattered, has already slipped away. The truth is, every single day is a battleground, every moment a test, every breath a countdown. And if you waste that time, if you let the moment pass without action, without passion, without purpose, then you are nothing more than a passive observer in your own life. You might tell yourself that you'll get to it tomorrow, that you'll make the change, that you'll show up when it counts. But let me tell you something. Tomorrow doesn't exist. Tomorrow is just a figment of your imagination, a construct you use to delay the inevitable truth that today is the only day you have. If you don't act today, if you don't show up today, if you don't prove yourself today, then tomorrow will come and find you just as you are, stuck in the same place, with the same regrets and the same empty promises. When people are faced with the truth of their own mortality, when they are standing on the edge of everything they've ever known, when the finality of the situation stares them directly in the face, that's when they truly understand. But by then, it's too late. There are no more chances. There are no more opportunities to prove anything. The chance to prove you care is gone, and you cannot bring it back. You want to know what the greatest tragedy is? It's not death. It's not the end of things. The greatest tragedy is living a life full of regrets, a life filled with moments you could have seized, but didn't. It's the pain of knowing that you could have been more, that you could have been better, but you never tried. You never showed up. You never took the chance. You waited, and you waited, and you waited for something that was never coming. And when it finally arrived, when it finally knocked on your door, it found you unprepared, unwilling to take the leap, unwilling to prove that you cared. This is the tragedy of so many lives. They wait for the right time. They wait for the perfect moment. They wait for some external force to give them the push they need. But the truth is, the right time is now. The perfect moment is right in front of you. The only force you need is the fire inside you that refuses to accept the status quo. The fire that drives you to get up, to act, to make a difference. You don't need to wait for a sign. The sign is already here. It's the voice inside you that's been telling you to act, to change, to do something different. And if you keep ignoring it, if you keep putting it off, one day you'll wake up and realize that you spent your life waiting for something that never came. Time doesn't wait. Time moves forward. It doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care about your comfort. It doesn't care about the dreams you keep putting off. Time just keeps moving, relentlessly, mercilessly, without pause. And every moment you waste, every moment you hesitate, is another moment you will never get back. And when you're standing at the end of it all, looking back at the life you could have lived, the things you could have done, the people you could have cared for, you'll realize that the pain of that realization will be far worse than any mistake you ever made. There's nothing more powerful than a person who decides to take control of their life, to stop waiting for permission, to stop waiting for the right circumstances, and to start living on their terms, to prove to themselves and to the world that they are capable of greatness. But that greatness doesn't come by waiting for things to align. It doesn't come by hoping for a miracle. It comes by action. It comes by stepping forward when the rest of the world steps back. It comes by doing the hard things when everyone else is content with the easy route. It comes by showing up every single day and proving that you care, that you are committed, that you are willing to fight for what you believe in. And make no mistake, proving you care isn't easy. It's not about posting a few words on social media or saying the right things when it suits you. It's about your actions. It's about how you treat people when they don't expect it. It's about how you rise to the occasion when no one is watching. It's about being there when it matters, not just when it's convenient for you. It's about showing up when you don't feel like it. It's about making the tough decisions even when you're scared. It's about making the hard choices, even when it means sacrificing something you want for something greater. That is how you prove you care. And yet, so many fail to do this. So many people live their lives on the surface, given just enough to get by, given just enough to make themselves feel good. But deep down, they know. They know that they're not doing enough. They know that they're not giving their all. They know that they're not proving that they care the way they should. And they wait. They wait for the right moment. They wait for the perfect conditions. They wait for someone to tell them what to do. But the truth is, there is no right moment. There is no perfect time. There is only now. And if you don't act now, if you don't step up now, if you don't prove that you care now, you might find that it's already too late. So stop waiting. Stop thinking you have forever. Stop believing that you can always fix things later. The truth is, later might never come. Later might be an illusion. And if you waste the time you have now, you will never get it back. The clock is ticking. The moments are passing. And the opportunity to prove that you care, to show up and be the person you were meant to be, is slipping away. Don't let it pass you by. Take action. Step forward. Prove that you care with everything you have. Don't leave anything on the table. When the moment comes, don't be the one standing there, empty-handed, with nothing to show for the life you lived. The opportunity to prove you care is now. You may not get another chance. You may not get another shot at this. So make it count. Show the world who you are. Show the people around you that you are worth their time, their love, their trust. Show them that you are willing to fight for them, that you are willing to fight for what matters. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Don't let the moment slip by. Prove that you care while you still have the chance. Because once that opportunity is gone, it's gone forever. And when you stand at the end of your days, you will know. You will know that you lived a life full of purpose, full of action, full of love. You will know that you didn't waste a single moment, a single opportunity, a single chance to prove who you truly are. And that, my friends, is a life worth living. But there is something deeper, something more urgent and raw, lurking beneath this simple phrase. It's not just about living, but about living with purpose. It's not just about existing, but about being fully present, fully aware, fully engaged in the reality you've created for yourself. Every second matters. Every decision counts. Every action reverberates through the corridors of your life, shaping not just your future, but the futures of those around you. And the scariest thing, the thing that should keep you up at night, is that so many people live their entire lives without realizing the immense responsibility they hold in their own hands. They live as though time is infinite, as if they can afford to waste it without consequence. But the truth is, time doesn't wait for anyone. It doesn't pause for you to get your act together, And it doesn't spare you just because you're trying to catch up. It doesn't care how many apologies you make or how many times you say next time. Time is relentless. It moves forward. And with each passing moment, the opportunity to prove that you care slips further into the past. There are no guarantees, no do-overs, no rewind buttons that can bring back the chance you missed yesterday. Once that moment is gone, it's gone for good. It's as if you're playing a game, and every time you fail to take the shot, you lose a piece of yourself. You lose an opportunity to prove that you mattered, that you didn't let life pass you by without leaving a mark on it. And what are you leaving behind? What is it that you want to be remembered for? Will it be that you lived with intention, or that you allowed your fears, your doubts, and your laziness to dictate the way you spent your time? Will it be that you cared, truly cared, about the people around you, about the things that mattered, or that you stood on the sidelines of your own life, waiting for someone else to take the reins? That's the most tragic fate of all. To stand on the edge of your life, knowing you've wasted it, knowing you've allowed yourself to drift through it without purpose, without direction, without showing anyone what you were truly capable of. The difference between those who leave a legacy and those who fade into obscurity is not luck. It's not circumstance. It's not chance. It's the choices they make, the decisions they take, the steps they choose to take, and the actions they put into motion. The ones who leave something behind, who make an impact, are the ones who understand the truth of their own mortality. The ones who see the passing moments as opportunities to prove something, to create something that will outlive them. They don't waste their time, not because they're perfect, not because they're always sure of the right choice, but because they act. They move forward with conviction, even if they don't know every step of the way. They don't hesitate, and they certainly don't waste their precious moments wondering whether it's too late. They live, they fight, they create, they build, and they love. And most importantly, they care. They care deeply, truly, passionately, and they show it. They prove it in every action, in every word, in every choice. But the majority of people, they remain passive. They wait for some mythical moment where everything aligns perfectly. They wait for someone else to act, someone else to take the lead, someone else to tell them what to do. They wait for permission. They wait for a sign. They wait for the circumstances to change, to feel right. And in doing so, they miss the one thing that truly matters: the opportunity to act right now. They let fear take control. They let doubt paralyze them. They let themselves believe that there is always time to make things right tomorrow. And that, my friends, is where the tragedy lies. How many times have you found yourself in this cycle? How many times have you told yourself that tomorrow will be better, or I'll make things right when I'm ready? How many times have you procrastinated, pushing the important things, the crucial things, to the back of your mind because you were busy, because you were too comfortable in your routine, in your state of waiting for something that never came? Every time you did that, every time you allowed yourself to delay what you knew needed to be done, you didn't just waste time. You wasted your opportunity to prove that you cared. You wasted the chance to show the world that you were willing to fight for what mattered. You wasted the chance to prove to those who matter most that you are present, that you're not just drifting through life, but actively engaging in it, taking ownership of it. And when the moment passed, when the chance was gone, all that was left was regret. A deep, gnawing regret that festers and grows, slowly eating away at your soul, reminding you of what you could have done, what you should have done, if only you had acted. So, I ask you, what are you waiting for? Why are you still standing there, frozen, watching time slip away. What is so important that you can't move now? What fear, what doubt, what excuse is holding you back from proving that you care? I'm not talking about big gestures, not talking about grand declarations or huge acts of heroism. No, I'm talking about the small moments, the quiet choices you make every single day, the way you show up for the people you love, the way you choose to live with integrity, with purpose, and with love. I'm talking about the moments when you could choose to be passive, to do nothing, to ignore the things that matter, but instead, you decide to act. You decide to be present. You decide to care enough to put your best foot forward, to give your all, to leave no stone unturned in your pursuit of making this world, your world, a better place. Because that's what it comes down to. The difference between a life wasted and a life well lived is your ability to care. To care about yourself, to care about your future, to care about the people who depend on you, to care about the impact you have on this world, whether that impact is on a global scale or in the quiet moments of your everyday interactions. The difference is in your ability to show up, not just in the easy moments, but in the tough ones. The moments when it's hard, when you don't feel like it, when it's uncomfortable. When you act, when you decide to push past the resistance, that's when you prove that you care. That's when you demonstrate to the world that you are not someone who just goes through the motions. You are someone who is present. You are someone who recognizes that the clock is ticking, and you are someone who will not waste another moment of it. And so, I challenge you to take control of your life right now. Don't wait. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for things to align. Take a step, no matter how small, toward becoming the person you want to be. Show the people around you that you care. Prove to them, and most importantly to yourself, that you are willing to fight for the things that matter. Because when it's all said and done, when your time has run out and you're looking back on your life, the thing that will bring you peace is not that you lived safely, not that you played it small, but that you lived with purpose, that you didn't waste a single moment, that you gave everything you had to the things that mattered most. There are no do-overs. There is no second chance. There is only now. This is your time. This is your moment. Don't waste it. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't let the opportunity to prove that you care slip away. Take action now. And when you look back, know that you lived a life that mattered, a life worth living. In the end, it all comes down to one simple truth. Time is precious, and every moment you waste is an opportunity lost. You have the power to shape your life, to prove you care, and to leave a legacy that matters. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Act now. Live with purpose. Show up. Fight for what you believe in. And when your time is up, let it be said that you lived fully, with no regrets, giving everything you had to make a difference. Don't waste it. You outthink the hustlers, you outmove the goons, you outgrow the block, and nobody tells you how lonely that actually feels. Nobody warns you that growth doesn't arrive loud, it arrives quiet. One day you wake up and the noise that shaped you no longer controls you. The chaos that trained your instincts no longer excites you. The shortcuts that once looked smart now look small. You start seeing 10 steps ahead while everyone around you is fighting for the next 5 minutes. That moment right there is where your real journey starts. Not when you had nothing, not when you struggled, but when you realized you don't want to live like that anymore. This is not about flexing success. This is about outgrowing survival mode. This is about the shift from reacting to choosing, from proving to building, from noise to direction. You didn't get lucky. You got aware. And awareness changes everything. Before you go deeper into this message, Listen closely. If this feels like it's talking directly to you, then pause for a second and show support. Like this video so it reaches someone who needs it. Subscribe if you're serious about growth, not hype. And comment where you're listening from, because you're not alone in this transition, even when it feels that way. Now breathe and keep listening, because this part matters. Growing up around pressure sharpens you fast. You learn how to read people before they speak. You learn when to stay quiet and when to move. You learn patterns before others notice them. But here's the truth nobody admits. Survival intelligence is powerful, but it becomes dangerous if you never evolve it. If all you ever do is survive, you end up trapped in cycles that look strong, but lead nowhere. The smartest people in the room are not always the loudest. They are the ones who can delay emotion. They can sit with discomfort. They can let others rush while they wait. That patience is not weakness. That patience is control. Outthinking hustlers doesn't mean you think you're better. It means you stopped romanticizing struggle. You stopped confusing motion with progress. You stopped believing every loud promise and fast win. You realized that real power moves quietly. It stacks over time. It compounds when nobody's watching. Hustle culture teaches exhaustion. Wisdom teaches alignment. One burns you out, the other builds you up. When you choose strategy over chaos, people around you may say you changed. They're right. You did. You grew. Outmoving goons doesn't mean physical speed. It means mental distance. It means you don't react to every challenge. You don't answer every call. You don't step into every conflict. You realize that winning every argument still leaves you stuck in the same place. So you started choosing peace over proving, direction over dominance, calm over chaos. That decision alone already puts you ahead of most people, because emotional discipline is rare, and rare things create rare outcomes. Outgrowing the block is the hardest part, not because the block is bad, but because it's familiar. Familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar potential. Leaving behind old patterns feels like betrayal. Even when those patterns were holding you back, you start seeing the same conversations repeat, the same complaints, the same excuses dressed up as loyalty, and you feel it in your chest. You know if you stay, you shrink. If you leave, you grow. And growth always costs something. Sometimes it costs people. Sometimes it costs comfort. Sometimes it costs the version of you that knew how to fit in. When you grow, your vision expands faster than your environment. That gap hurts. You feel misunderstood. You feel ahead, but also alone. You start questioning if you're doing too much or thinking too far. Let me be clear. You're not. You're just early. And being early always feels like being wrong until results catch up. The strongest people are not those who never doubt. They are the ones who move anyway. There is a moment where you realize you don't need to announce your growth. You don't need approval. You don't need validation from people who never had to carry your mindset. Silence becomes your strategy. Focus becomes your language. Discipline becomes your identity. You stop explaining. You start executing. And that's when life starts responding differently. You grew up fast because you had to, but now you're choosing to grow smart because you want to. That's the difference. You are no longer reacting to pressure. You are designing your future. You don't chase quick wins. You build systems. You don't burn bridges. You outgrow the need to stand on them. You don't need to be seen. You need to be consistent. At some point, you realize that being mature isn't about being cold. It's about being selective. Selective with your time. Selective with your energy. selective with your circle. You stop giving unlimited access to people who drain you. You stop sharing dreams with people who only understand limitations. That's not ego, that's self-respect. This path isn't glamorous. There are nights where discipline feels heavy. There are mornings where motivation is gone. But you move anyway, because you've seen where the other road leads. You've watched potential decay in real time. You've seen talent waste itself on distractions, and you promised yourself you wouldn't be another story that almost made it. You don't need to dominate anyone. You just need to dominate your habits. You don't need to escape your past. You need to outgrow it, and you already are. Every quiet decision, every disciplined morning, every moment you choose long-term over short-term, that's growth. That's power. You outthink the hustlers because you understand leverage. You outmove the goons because you understand restraint. You outgrow the block because you understand vision. And vision is something no one can take from you once it's clear. The world doesn't reward the loudest. It rewards the most consistent, the most patient, the most focused. And that's who you're becoming. Not overnight, but deliberately. So when they ask why you don't move the same anymore, why you don't talk the same anymore, why you don't react the same anymore, let them wonder. You don't owe explanations to chapters you've already finished. You didn't lose your edge. You sharpened it. You didn't switch up. You leveled up. And deep down, you know it. You really did grow up. And here's the part nobody prepares you for. When you outgrow your old environment, the world doesn't suddenly applaud you. There is no announcement, no celebration. Most of the time there is silence, and that silence can feel heavy if you're not ready for it. You used to be surrounded by noise, opinions, reactions, drama, movement. Now it's just you and your thoughts. And that's where many people turn back. Not because they can't succeed, but because they can't sit alone with their own potential. Growth requires isolation before it creates elevation. You begin to notice how much of your past effort was spent proving yourself to people who were never going anywhere. You remember how many nights you wasted explaining your vision to minds that were committed to staying small. And instead of anger, you feel clarity. Because now you understand something important. Not everyone is meant to come with you. Some people are lessons, not partners. Some places are training grounds, not destinations. When your mindset shifts, your tolerance drops. You stop entertaining conversations that lead nowhere. You stop feeding energy into cycles that don't pay you back. You don't argue as much because you no longer need to be right. You need to be effective. That's a quiet upgrade. Most people will never notice, but it changes everything. There's a moment when you realize discipline is not punishment. It's protection. It protects your future from your impulses. It protects your goals from distractions. It protects your peace from chaos, disguised as excitement. And once you see discipline that way, you stop resisting it. You start respecting it. You understand that freedom isn't doing whatever you want. Freedom is having control over yourself. Outgrowing the block doesn't mean forgetting where you came from. It means refusing to let it limit where you're going. You still carry the lessons. You still respect the struggle, but you don't let nostalgia trap you. You don't confuse loyalty with stagnation. You don't stay small just to stay familiar. You start thinking in years instead of weekends, in outcomes instead of appearances, in systems instead of shortcuts. And that shift is uncomfortable because it separates you from the crowd. But separation is the price of direction. You can't move forward while constantly looking sideways for approval. There will be days when the old life calls you back, the comfort, the ease, the lack of responsibility, and you'll feel the pull. That's normal. Growth doesn't erase temptation. It teaches you how to pause before responding to it. And every time you pause instead of reacting, you strengthen something inside you that can't be taught: self-command. You realize that most people aren't lazy, they're just undisciplined. They're busy, but not intentional. Active, but not progressing. Loud, but not improving. And you choose not to become that. You choose to slow down so you can aim better. You choose to build quietly so you can last longer. The strongest move you ever made was deciding to think for yourself, to question patterns, to study outcomes, to learn from mistakes without repeating them. That alone puts you ahead of generations who lived and died inside the same cycle. You broke the rhythm. You disrupted the pattern. And even if nobody claps for that right now, it matters more than you know. There's a weight that comes with maturity. You feel responsible not just for yourself, but for the future version of you, the one who will live with the consequences of today's choices. And when you understand that you stop gambling with your time, you stop selling your focus, you stop treating your potential casually, you don't rush success anymore. You respect timing. You understand that real results require boring consistency, repetition, refinement, showing up even when nobody's watching, especially when nobody's watching. Because character is built in private, long before it's recognized in public. At some point you stop chasing motivation. You build routines. You build structure. You build standards. And standards change behavior automatically. You don't rely on how you feel. You rely on who you've decided to become. That identity carries you through days motivation never will. You outthink the hustlers because you see the cost behind the shine. You outmove the goons because you understand that real strength doesn't need constant conflict. You outgrow the block because you understand that your future deserves more than your past could offer. This journey doesn't make you perfect. It makes you intentional. You still make mistakes. You still feel doubt. But you don't let those moments define you. You use them as data, as feedback, as fuel. You learn, you adjust, you continue. And one day, without even realizing it, you'll look back and notice the distance. Not just physical distance, but mental distance, emotional distance. The problems that once felt massive now feel manageable. The temptations that once controlled you now barely get your attention. The opinions that once shook you now pass right through. That's growth. Not loud, not flashy, but undeniable. And when people say you changed, you won't feel the need to defend yourself, because deep down, you'll know the truth. You didn't change for attention. You changed for survival. Then, you changed for progress. Then, you changed for purpose. You didn't grow cold. You grew focused. You didn't lose people. You outgrew patterns. You didn't slow down. You aimed higher. And the path ahead won't be easy, but it will be yours. Built by your decisions, protected by your discipline, guided by your vision. So keep moving, quietly, intentionally, relentlessly. Because you didn't come this far just to stay the same. You really did grow up. And as you keep moving forward, you begin to understand something most people never slow down enough to realize. Growth is not just about adding new habits. It's about shedding old reactions, old reflexes, old emotional patterns that once protected you but now hold you back. You don't need to be on guard all the time anymore. You don't need to prove toughness. You don't need to respond to every challenge. You've learned that real confidence doesn't announce itself. It shows up calm, prepared, unshaken. You start to see how many people are controlled by their environment without even knowing it. Their mood changes with the room. Their direction changes with opinions. Their effort changes with comfort. And you quietly decide that won't be you. You choose internal standards over external pressure. You build rules for yourself, and you follow them even when nobody's watching, especially when nobody is watching. There's a strange moment where you realize you are no longer impressed by chaos. What once felt exciting now feels draining. What once felt alive now feels repetitive. And that's when you know your nervous system has matured. You no longer need constant stimulation to feel something. You're building something real, and real things take time. You also realize that discipline creates space. Space to think, space to breathe, space to plan. When your life is organized, your mind becomes sharper. When your habits are aligned, your confidence grows quietly. You stop doubting yourself as much because your actions are backing you up. Trust in yourself isn't built through words. It's built through consistency. There will be moments where you feel misunderstood by the people closest to you. They remember the old version of you, the reactive one, the always available one, the one who moved without direction. And when you don't play that role anymore, it confuses them. But growth always disrupts expectations. And that's not your burden to carry. You learn to let people have their opinions without letting those opinions shape your behavior. You stop correcting misunderstandings. You stop defending silence. You understand that clarity will come later through results, not explanations. And results speak in a language nobody can argue with. At some point, you realize that being alone is not the same as being lonely. Solitude becomes a tool. It gives you space to hear your own thoughts without interference. It allows ideas to develop fully. It sharpens your instincts. The strongest minds in history were built in moments of quiet, not noise. You begin to treat your energy like a resource. You don't waste it on gossip. You don't donate it to negativity. You don't lend it to people who never return it. That doesn't make you heartless. It makes you responsible. You can't build a future while constantly leaking energy into the past. And slowly, something powerful happens. Your confidence becomes rooted, not in approval, not in appearance, but in competence. You know what you're capable of because you've put in the work. You know how you respond under pressure because you've trained yourself. That kind of confidence doesn't need validation. It stands on its own. You stop asking for permission to grow. You stop waiting for the right moment. You realize that the perfect time never comes. Only prepared people do. So you prepare daily, quietly, relentlessly. You also understand that setbacks are not signs to quit. They are signals to adjust. You don't collapse when things go wrong. You analyze, you learn, you recalibrate. That emotional control separates leaders from followers long before success shows up. Outgrowing the block also means outgrowing old definitions of success. It's no longer about looking busy. It's about being effective. It's no longer about appearing strong. It's about being stable. You value peace. You value clarity. You value progress that lasts. You start respecting sleep, respecting focus, respecting tone. You no longer brag about exhaustion. You protect your mental space because you understand that sharp thinking is your advantage. A calm mind sees openings. A chaotic mind misses. And here's the quiet truth. The higher you aim, the fewer people will understand your choices. But understanding is not required for progress. Commitment is, and you've made yours. You're not chasing anyone. You're not racing anyone. You're building at your own pace with your own standards. That alone puts you ahead of people who are constantly comparing themselves to others. One day people will say you came out of nowhere, but you'll know better. You'll remember the nights of discipline, the mornings of focus, the moments you chose growth over comfort. You didn't appear overnight. You were built slowly. And when success finally shows up, it won't change you because you already changed on the way there. You won't need to announce it. You won't need to prove it. Your presence will speak before your words ever do. You outthought what trapped others. You outmoved what distracted them. You outgrew what defined them. And the most powerful part is this: you did it quietly. Keep going. As time goes on, you begin to notice something subtle but important. Your reactions slow down, not because you care less, but because you understand more. You no longer jump at every opportunity or threat. You pause. You observe. You measure consequences before you move. That pause is not hesitation. It's maturity. It's the space between impulse and intention. And in that space, you make better decisions than most people ever will. You start to understand that real growth often feels boring. There are no dramatic moments, no constant excitement, just repetition, structure, doing the same right things over and over until they compound. Most people quit in this phase because it doesn't look impressive, but you stay because you're not chasing attention, you're chasing results. You also start to feel the weight of responsibility. Not the loud kind, but the quiet one. The responsibility to not waste your potential. The responsibility to break cycles instead of repeating them. The responsibility to become someone younger you would respect. That pressure doesn't crush you. It sharpens you. You realize that discipline is actually an act of self-respect. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build trust within. Every time you follow through, when it's inconvenient, you reinforce your identity. You're no longer trying to become disciplined. You are disciplined, and that identity guides your actions automatically. There will be moments when progress feels invisible, when effort doesn't seem to pay off, when it feels like you're standing still, while others appear to move faster. This is where most people sabotage themselves. They rush, they cut corners, they abandon what works for what feels fast. You don't. You understand that roots grow in darkness before anything rises into the light. You begin to understand people better too. You stop taking things personally. You see fear behind aggression, insecurity behind arrogance, confusion behind criticism. That understanding doesn't make you weak. It makes you calm. And calm people are hard to control. You stop needing to win conversations. You let people be wrong about you. You let them underestimate you. Because you know something they don't. You know how much work you've put in when nobody was watching. You know how solid your foundation is. And that knowledge keeps you steady. At this stage, your standards rise naturally, not just for others, but for yourself. You expect more from your time, more from your focus, more from your effort. You don't settle for half commitment anymore. You don't excuse inconsistency. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a deep pain that comes with giving your heart to someone who doesn't appreciate it. You invest your time, your energy, and your love into a person who takes it all for granted, never truly understanding the depth of what you're offering. But there's a truth, a harsh reality that awaits all those who fail to recognize the value of what's in front of them. And that truth is this: very soon, they will experience the pain of losing you. You see, people often don't realize what they have until it's gone. They take you for granted, using your kindness, your loyalty, and your unwavering commitment as if it was something that would always be there, something that will never fade, something that will always remain constant. But what they fail to grasp is that everything has a limit. There's only so much a person can give before they break. There's only so much time someone can spend being overlooked, undervalued, and ignored before they walk away. And when that day comes, when you finally decide to pull away, to leave them to their own devices, that's when they'll feel it. They will feel the sting of regret, the coldness of absence, and the unbearable weight of loss. Because, ladies and gentlemen, they will never find someone like you again. You've given your all, but now it's time for you to reclaim what was always yours. You've allowed them to take your heart, to trample over your emotions, to manipulate your feelings, and twist your love into something they could consume at their leisure. But when you walk away, when you finally recognize your worth and stop pouring your soul into a bottomless pit, they'll be left with nothing but the echoes of what they had. And those echoes will haunt them. They will be a constant reminder of the person they could have had, but didn't appreciate. And no matter how much time passes, no matter how many people they try to replace you with, they will always come up short. The pain of losing you will be a shadow that follows them wherever they go. What they don't know, what they will never understand, is that the pain they'll experience will be far worse than anything they could have imagined. It won't just be the absence of your presence, but the absence of your love, your dedication, your support. It won't be the simple act of losing someone. It will be the realization that they lost the best thing they ever had. And that realization will sink into their bones, eating away at their insides, gnawing at them in a way they cannot escape. It will consume them because deep down, they will know that they were the ones who destroyed it. They will know they are responsible for their own pain. The hardest part for them will be coming to terms with the fact that they'll never get you back. People often believe that they can always get someone back, that with time, effort, or words, they can fix what was broken. But with you, it will be different. You will not be someone they can call when they need comfort. Someone they can manipulate back into their lives when things get hard. Once you walk away, there will be no going back. The door will be closed and the key will be in your pocket, never to be given back. They will try to move on, to forget about you, but deep down, they will know that no one will ever compare to what they had with you. They will try to find someone else to fill the void, but that will only leave them feeling emptier. The love they lost will be a gaping hole in their heart, a scar that will never fully heal. And with each passing day, that scar will fester, growing more painful, more unbearable. They will look back on their mistakes and wonder what went wrong, but by then, it will be too late. And don't let them fool you. Don't let them tell you that they'll move on easily, that they'll forget about you without a second thought. Because the truth is, they won't. They will think about you every single day. They will remember your laugh, the way you made them feel safe, the way you loved them in a way no one else ever could. And every memory will come crashing down on them like a tidal wave, drowning them in regret. They will wish they could go back in time and make different choices, but they won't be able to. Because time, once lost, can never be regained. You will be gone, and all they will have left is the pain of knowing that they let you slip through their fingers. The people who took you for granted, who used you without a second thought, who never once appreciated what you brought into their lives, will soon come to the harsh realization that they've made a grave mistake. They will never find someone like you again, no matter how hard they try. You will be the one that got away, the one that slipped through the cracks, and no matter how many new faces they try to surround themselves with, they will always be reminded of what they lost, and that reminder will be their punishment. Very soon, they'll experience the pain of losing you. For now, they don't understand, but soon they will feel the weight of their ignorance and their arrogance. They think they can take you for granted. They think that you'll always be there for them, like some constant shadow, something they can push aside and forget about when it's convenient. But you're not a shadow. You're not something to be used, discarded, and then expected to return whenever they feel like it. The time is coming when the tables will turn, and they will realize that the one thing they never expected to happen is going to happen, and that is the pain of losing you. For all the moments they ignored you, for all the times they mistreated you, for every time they thought you'd always be around, you're about to show them the price of their complacency. And trust me, they won't be able to handle it. The silence you leave will be deafening. The absence you create will haunt them, and they won't be able to escape the bitter truth they will soon be forced to confront. That truth is simple, undeniable, and raw. They took you for granted. They believed they could keep you at arm's length, using you as a backup when things went wrong. But they never saw the storm coming. You've been patient. You've been kind. You've been the one to pick up the pieces every time they shattered. You've been the one to offer a hand when no one else did. The one who stuck around long after the others turned their backs. But that kindness has limits. That patience has an expiration date. And when that day comes, when you finally break free, when you finally let go, when you walk away and close the door behind you, they will be left in their own chaos. They will be left to suffer in the silence they created. You see, they believed you'd always be there because they never had to work for your presence. They thought they could rely on you without ever appreciating the weight of your loyalty. But now the tides are turning. The reality they thought they could ignore is coming for them, and they'll be left scrambling in the wake of their own negligence. They'll wonder where you went. They'll wonder how they could have been so blind. And in that moment, when the emptiness of your absence hits them like a wrecking ball, they'll understand exactly what they lost. But by then, it will be too late. You're not going to run back to them. You're not going to make excuses for their behavior. You've already paid the price for their lack of respect. You've already invested too much time, too much energy, too much of yourself in a place that didn't value you. Now, you'll make them feel the same emptiness they so carelessly left inside of you. And it will hurt them far more than it ever hurt you. When you walk away, they'll feel it. It will start as a small pang, a subtle realization that something is missing. But as the days go by, that realization will grow into something more visceral. They'll begin to see the impact of your absence in everything they do. The calls they used to receive will go unanswered. The text messages they sent will remain unread. The warmth they once took for granted will be gone, and it will burn. It will burn like fire, like ice, like a slow, agonizing death they never saw coming. They'll try to fill the void. They'll try to find someone else to replace you, someone else to fill the role you once played. But it won't be the same. No one will ever be able to replicate what you brought to the table. No one will ever understand them the way you did. They'll try to move on, to find distractions, to find something, anything to dull the pain. But nothing will work. Nothing will make them feel the way you made them feel. And they'll hate themselves for it. They'll hate themselves for taking you for granted, for never fully appreciating what they had until it was gone. They'll try to call you. They'll try to reach out, to apologize, to beg for forgiveness. But by then, it will be too late. The person they once knew will be gone. The version of you that they thought they could walk all over, the one that would always be there to clean up their mess, will be gone. And they won't know how to handle it. They won't know what to do with themselves when they realize that they've lost someone who was irreplaceable, someone who gave more than they could ever deserve. They won't be able to look back and say they did enough. They won't be able to look back and say they gave you the respect you deserved. They'll never have the chance to make things right. When you leave, it will be like a mirror shattering in front of their eyes. It will force them to see who they really are and who they've been to you. It will show them the ugly truth they were too afraid to confront. and it will break them. It will break them in a way they never thought possible. And in that moment, they'll wish they could take it all back. They'll wish they could turn back time and make different choices, but they can't. And they'll know they can't. They'll know that the damage is done and it's irreversible. And in that moment, when they're sitting in the wreckage of their own mistakes, they'll finally understand. They'll finally understand the true value of what they had and how foolish they were to let it slip through their fingers. But it will be too late. There will be no second chance, no coming back from this. They will have learned their lesson the hard way, and they'll be left with nothing but the memory of what they lost. You see, this isn't about revenge. This isn't about getting even. This is about justice. This is about making them feel the weight of their actions. This is about showing them that you're not a person to be trifled with. You're not someone who will sit in the background and accept disrespect. You're not someone who will let them walk all over you and expect you to stay loyal when they don't even care to show up for you. They will experience the pain of losing you because they need to. They need to feel that pain so they can understand the value of what they had. They need to understand the cost of their indifference. They need to understand that loyalty isn't something to be taken for granted. It's something that must be earned and respected. And when you walk away, when you finally cut them off, they'll understand that in the most excruciating way possible. But here's the thing. They'll never truly be able to apologize for what they've done. They'll never truly be able to make it right because some things can't be undone. They can't change the fact that they treated you like an option. They can't change the fact that they took advantage of your love, your loyalty, your time. They can't change the fact that they let you go without ever realizing what they had. All they can do is sit in their regret, and that will be their punishment. And you'll move on. You'll be stronger. You'll be wiser. You'll be more selective about who you let into your life. You won't make the same mistake twice. You'll no longer tolerate being treated like you're disposable. You'll find your peace, your strength, and your purpose, and you'll do it without them. You'll realize that losing them wasn't a loss at all. It was a blessing. It was the moment you stopped settling for less than you deserved. In the end, they will experience the pain of losing you, but you will experience the liberation of knowing that you are worth more than they ever understood. And that's something they'll never be able to take from you. You know, the greatest mistake they ever made was assuming you were too weak to walk away. They underestimated your strength, your resolve, your willingness to fight for your own peace. They thought that because you gave them so much of your time, so much of your heart, that you would be there forever, like some constant, unmovable fixture in their life. But they were wrong. They didn't realize the quiet power that comes from knowing your worth and having the courage to walk away when you're no longer being valued. They didn't see the storm inside you, the one that has been brewing for so long. They didn't see the cracks in the foundation, the cracks you tried to ignore, tried to mend, tried to convince yourself weren't there. But deep down, you always knew. You knew that there would come a point where you'd have to choose yourself over them. You knew that their negligence would eventually reach a tipping point. And when that moment came, when you finally recognized that they'd pushed you too far, you made the hardest decision of your life. You chose to walk away. And now, as you look at them, still blissfully unaware of what they're about to lose, you know that everything is about to change. The illusion of security they've had with you by their side is about to shatter. They will feel the weight of their actions. They will feel the sting of their neglect. They will feel that hole in their chest where your presence used to be, and they won't know how to fill it. They'll try to move on, of course. They'll try to convince themselves that it doesn't matter. They'll tell themselves that they're better off without you, that they can replace you, that life will go on. But deep down, They'll know they're lying to themselves. They'll know they can never replace you. They'll never find someone who understands them like you did, someone who cared for them with the depth and devotion you offered. They'll search for distractions, for other people, for temporary fixes, but the pain will always be there, gnawing at them, reminding them of what they lost. You see, people don't truly appreciate what they have until it's gone. They don't realize the value of a person until that person walks away. And that's when the regret hits. That's when the anger sets in, not at you, but at themselves. They'll question everything they did wrong. They'll wonder where they went wrong, where they could have done better. But they'll never be able to figure it out, because the problem wasn't you. The problem was them. They took you for granted, and they didn't see it until it was too late. They didn't see how much you sacrificed, how much you gave up for them, how much you put aside just to make them happy, just to make their life easier. They didn't see the late nights you stayed awake, the moments you put your own dreams on hold, the times you put their needs before your own. They didn't see the small things, the quiet gestures of love and care, the things that made your bond special. And now they're going to see it all, but it will be too late. When you leave, you're not just walking away from them, you're walking away from all the lies they told you, from all the promises they never kept, from all the empty words that meant nothing in the end. You're walking away from the broken promises and the half-hearted efforts. You're walking away from a life that was never truly yours, but one they tried to convince you could be. And as you step out of their world, as you shut the door behind you, they will feel the weight of that loss. They will feel the finality of it. And no amount of apologies, no amount of pleading will bring you back. At first, it'll be subtle. They won't notice it right away. They'll go on with their lives, pretending like everything's fine. But then, little by little, they'll start to feel the difference. The texts won't be answered. The calls will go straight to voicemail. The messages they sent will be left on read, and each unanswered attempt will feel like a slap in the face. It'll be a reminder of how they took you for granted, how they never gave you the time, the respect, the attention you deserved. But here's the thing, you're not doing this to hurt them. You're not leaving out of spite. You're leaving because you know that you deserve better. You deserve more than what they were offering you. You deserve respect, love, and loyalty. You deserve to be seen for the person you are, not just for the things you do for others. And if they couldn't see that, if they couldn't recognize your worth, then they have to face the consequences of their actions. They have to face the reality that they let something priceless slip through their fingers. They'll try to tell themselves it's not their fault. They'll tell themselves that you overreacted, that you made a big deal out of nothing, that you were too sensitive. But deep down, they'll know the truth. They'll know they failed you. They'll know they could have treated you better, could have shown you the love you deserved, but they chose not to. And that's the hardest pill for them to swallow. As time passes, they'll try to replace you. They'll try to fill the void with someone else. But no one will ever compare to you. No one will ever make them feel the way you did. They'll try, but it won't work. And each time they come across someone who doesn't measure up, they'll feel it. They'll feel the emptiness, the hollowness, the loss of what could have been. And with every failed attempt, the pain will grow. They'll realize that they'll never find someone like you again. And that realization will eat away at them, gnawing at their insides until they can't ignore it anymore. They'll think about all the things they took for granted, the way you listened when no one else did, the way you made them feel safe, the way you showed up day after day, even when they didn't deserve it. They'll think about the moments they spent with you, the laughter, the quiet moments, the shared experiences, and they'll wish they could go back, but they can't. And that's the hardest part for them, the fact that it's too late, the fact that they can never go back to the way things were. And that's when the regret will settle in. They'll wonder if you ever really cared for them, if you ever really loved them. They'll wonder what went wrong, why you gave up on them. But the truth is, they don't need to wonder. The answer is simple. They never gave you a reason to stay. They never gave you the love, the respect, the attention that you needed. They never put in the effort. And when someone stops putting in the effort, when they stop showing you that you matter, it's only a matter of time before you realize it's not worth it anymore. They'll try to distract themselves. They'll try to numb the pain with other people, with other things. But it won't work. The pain of losing you will follow them wherever they go. It will be a constant reminder of their mistakes. And as the days turn into weeks, and the weeks turn into months, the pain will only grow stronger. You'll be long gone by then, living your life without them. And while they wallow in their regret, you'll be free. Free from the weight of their indifference, free from the constant disappointment, free from the pain of being taken for granted. And as you walk into a future that's brighter than anything they could have ever given you, they'll be left to pick up the pieces of their own broken heart. And that's the reality they'll have to face. They'll have to live with the knowledge that they had something amazing, something irreplaceable, and they let it slip away. They'll have to live with the knowledge that they pushed you away, that they didn't appreciate what they had until it was too late. And that will be their punishment. The pain of losing you will haunt them for the rest of their days. And you'll move forward. You'll heal. You'll find your peace. You'll find someone who sees you for who you truly are. Someone who values you. Someone who treats you with the respect you deserve. And when that day comes, when you finally find your happiness, you'll realize that the pain of losing them was never a loss at all. It was the greatest gift you could ever give yourself. The gift of freedom. The gift of self-worth. The gift of knowing that you are enough. And once you embrace that, once you realize that you deserve the best, you'll never go back. Because the best thing you could ever do is walk away from someone who couldn't see your value. And in that, you'll find a strength you never knew you had. When you leave, you will not just be leaving them behind physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. You will leave a void that they will try to fill, but they won't be able to. You are not replaceable, no matter how hard they try. They can chase after every other person who may come along, but they'll always be confronted by the ghost of what you were, by the essence of everything you gave them and everything they squandered. This isn't just about one person's loss. It's about their realization that they lost someone who was genuine. They lost someone who could have been their greatest ally, their greatest support. They lost the person who truly cared for them, who accepted them for who they were, flaws and all. But more than that, they lost someone who didn't demand perfection. You were not someone who expected the world. You just wanted to be seen, to be valued. And they couldn't give that to you. They thought you would always be there, thought you'd always accept the scraps they threw your way. They thought they could walk all over you because you were too kind, too patient, or too understanding. But now, when the silence of your absence echoes through the empty spaces they once filled with their disregard, they will understand the truth. You weren't weak. You were strong enough to walk away. And the strength it takes to leave is far more than what they ever realized. At some point, they'll find themselves standing at a crossroads. It will hit them like a freight train. This realization that the one person who truly understood them, truly cared for them, and gave everything they could is left. They won't know what to do with themselves. They won't know how to fix it. And for the first time, they will realize that they don't have the control they thought they did over you, over your presence in their life. They won't have the privilege of taking you for granted any longer. They'll try to fill the gap you left behind, Maybe they'll seek comfort in the company of others. Maybe they'll try to distract themselves with work, hobbies, or substances. But nothing will make them feel whole again. Because no matter how hard they try to convince themselves that they're better off without you, the truth will settle in. The truth that they can't find someone like you. They'll spend countless nights staring into the void, wondering how they let you slip through their fingers. And the regret will gnaw at them like a slow burning fire they can't extinguish. One they won't be able to put out no matter how much time passes. They'll begin to look at everything differently. They'll start to examine the moments they took for granted, the days you spent together, the small gestures you made, the way you showed up for them without question, the way you put their needs above your own. They'll start to see all the things they should have done, the words they should have spoken, the love they should have shown, and it will eat away at them. They'll realize that they didn't even know what they had until it was gone. And then they'll come to the painful truth. There's nothing they can do. There's no turning back. There's no way to undo the damage they caused. They'll try to apologize, maybe even beg for a second chance. But by then, you will have already moved on. You will have already found your strength. You will have already learned that no matter how much they beg, no matter how much they say they've changed, the truth is that they never truly valued you when they had you. They never took the time to appreciate you, to recognize you for the incredible person you are. And that's the most painful part for them. The realization that the chance they had to make it right is gone. There's nothing left to fix. There's no room for apologies because you've already closed that chapter in your life. You've walked away and you've learned how to stand on your own. You've realized that the pain they caused you was not something to be ignored or swept under the rug. You faced it, learned from it, and now you're stronger for it. They, on the other hand, will be stuck in the web of their own mistakes, desperately searching for a way to undo what they've done, but knowing, deep down, that it's too late. But don't feel sorry for them. Don't feel guilty for your decision. You are doing what you need to do to protect your peace. You are doing what you need to do to move forward. The world doesn't owe you anything, and it certainly doesn't owe them anything. They will learn the hard way, just as you did. They will learn that the value of a person is not something to be taken lightly. They will learn that loyalty is not a guarantee, that respect is earned, and that the love you gave them wasn't something to be squandered. As the days go on, they will watch you from a distance. They will see you living your life, flourishing, becoming the person you always deserved to be. And they will realize that the person they knew was not the same person they lost. No, that person will be better, stronger, wiser, and more focused than ever before. That person will have learned the painful lesson of knowing their worth and knowing that they deserve so much more than what they were given. They will see you rise, and in that, they will realize the true cost of their neglect. When they finally come to this realization, it will hit them hard. The regret will wash over them like a tidal wave. They will see their mistakes, their shortcomings, and all the things they should have done. And they will wish, more than anything, that they could turn back time. But they can't. Time has passed, and you have moved on. And now, they are left to carry the weight of their own actions. They will try to move on. They will try to find someone else, but it won't be the same. No one else will understand them the way you did. No one else will give them the same care and devotion. And deep down, they will know that. They will know that they could have had everything with you, but they were too blind, too selfish, too wrapped up in their own world to see it. And as they sit with the pain of losing you, they will realize that this is the true consequence of their actions. They will never be able to fix it. They will never be able to get you back. They will have to live with that regret for the rest of their lives. But you, on the other hand, will be free. free to live your life without the weight of their mistakes hanging over your head, free to create new opportunities, new relationships, and new experiences that are deserving of your love and time. You will be free to embrace the person you have become, stronger, wiser, and more self-aware. You will be free to create your own happiness without anyone holding you back, and that is what they will never understand. They will never understand how it feels to be free, to be liberated from the chains of their neglect. They will never know the peace that comes with walking away from a situation that no longer serves you. They will never know what it feels like to choose yourself first, to recognize your worth, and to make a decision that is in your best interest. But that's not your problem. They will have to learn that lesson on their own, just as you did. And the hardest part for them will be knowing that they'll never be able to go back, never be able to fix what they broke. And in the end, that is what will hurt them the most. In the end, they will experience the pain of losing you because they never truly understood your value until it was too late. And as they suffer from their mistakes, you will rise above, stronger and more determined than ever. You will not look back with regret, but with the knowledge that you made the right choice. You walked away, not because you wanted to hurt them, but because you recognized that you deserve so much more. And that's the ultimate truth. In walking away, you've reclaimed your power.